So Harry Potter has its fair share of heroes, but it also has some of the baddest villains going. Who really gets under your skin? Here are our top 10 Harry Potter villains. So our first pick is Uncle Vernon's dog breeding sister Marge. She might not be a Death Eater, but she is one serious bully. Aunt Marge constantly belittles and antagonises Harry, making defamatory comments about his parents and referring to him as having bad blood. She enjoys spoiling Dudley, but takes equal pleasure in the notion of Harry being thrashed, and encourages the Dursleys in their despicable behaviour towards him. Now, she may not be a Death Eater or as violent as others in our list, although she did hit Harry across the shins with a walking stick, but no doubt she is a villain, and just imagine what she could do if she had magic capabilities. Up next, we're keeping it in the family with a brother and sister team. No, I'm not talking about Ron and Ginny, I mean the Carrows. Alecto and Amicus were Death Eaters who supported Lord V in both wars. They became professors at Hogwarts and enjoyed nothing more than punishing and torturing students, and even encouraged older students to use the Cruciatus Curse on others. Amicus even scarred Neville's face when he refused to use the curse on a first year. They both participated in the assault on the Astronomy Tower and enjoyed mocking Dumbledore before firing the Cruciatus Curse at Ginny, and later had plans to kill Neville, which forced him to move to the Room of Requirement. But Amicus got a taste of his own medicine when Harry, who was so enraged by his behaviour towards Professor McGonagall, used the Cruciatus Curse on him. Both brother and sister ended up in the Ravenclaw Tower before the Battle of Hogwarts, and ended their days with an all-expenses-paid holiday at Hotel Azkaban. In at number 8 is Quirinus Quirrell. Don't be fooled by his nervous disposition and timid demeanour, that's just a disguise to cover up his nefarious activities. It was Quirrell that sought out and found Lord Voldemort. Initially it was to learn from him, but after a short period he ended up becoming the physical host to the remains of Lord V, allowing Voldemort to gain in strength and power. Quirrell became seduced by the dark arts, and while serving the Dark Lord, did some pretty evil things himself. He cursed Harry's broomstick, released a troll into the dungeons, and killed unicorns. He killed unicorns? He even tried to kill Harry whilst attempting to steal the Philosopher's Stone for Voldemort. And don't forget, if it wasn't for Quirrell, the Dark Lord may never have returned in the first place. In at number 7 is a vindictive Death Eater, one of Voldemort's most trusted followers who will happily bribe, manipulate or curse anyone that stands in the way of fulfilling his master's commands. Who snuck Tom Riddle's diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron? Who threatened to curse the Hogwarts governors' families if they didn't suspend Dumbledore? Who put ministry worker Broderick Bode under the Imperius Curse to assist him in stealing the prophecy? Who demanded that Buckbeak was given the death sentence? And who treated Dobby so cruelly? Yes, it's Lucius Malfoy, the pureblood wizard who used the cloak of respectability and his affluence to cover his dark dealings. Okay, so eventually he ended up with a stint in Azkaban, and due to his numerous failings was taken off Voldemort's Christmas card list, but he's wicked enough to make it to our number 7 slot. Next in our list is the king of Polyjuice Potion, Barty Crouch Jr. Although his father was Minister for Magic, Barty had more of a taste for the dark arts and soon became a Death Eater. Sentenced to life imprisonment in Azkaban for his part in the torture of the Longbottoms, Barty Jr. managed to escape and lived under his father's Imperius Curse until Lord V freed him and he became the Dark Lord's sworn man. In the Goblet of Fire, he imprisons and impersonates Professor Moody, using a large supply of Polyjuice Potion. From then on, it was plain sailing. Enter Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire, help Harry progress through the Triwizard Tournament, and create a portkey to transport a hero to the graveyard, where Voldemort would kill him and take over the world. Well, things didn't really work out in the end, and Barty Jr. ended up getting kissed by a Dementor. Bye bye, Barty. In at number 5 is howling mad Fenrir Greyback, a guy who likes his steaks on the raw side. He is guilty of numerous crimes, including killing Muggleborns, biting Lupin and attacking Bill Weasley, destroying the Millennium Bridge in London, kidnapping Ollivander and killing Lavender Brown at the Battle of Hogwarts. This guy just does not know when to stop. Greyback is described as the most savage werewolf alive, and even Lord Voldemort uses him as a threat to get people to do as he wishes. Although he was aligned with Voldemort, he had his own ideas about power and was obsessed with creating a horde of werewolves to one day take over the wizarding world. Well done to Ron and Neville for eventually putting a sharp stop to that. In at number 4 is Peter Pettigrew, former student of Hogwarts and one of the marauders who hung around with the cool kids. He was an animagus who could turn himself into a rat and was a rat by nature. Originally a member of the Order of the Phoenix during the First Wizarding War, he was secret keeper for the Potters and eventually became a spy for Lord V. However, not only was he happy to betray his best friends Lily and James, but also to frame Sirius for his own murder. After Voldemort was defeated, he lived as the Weasleys' hand-me-down pet until he resurfaced again in Prisoner of Azkaban, when Harry told Lupin that he saw Peter on the Marauders' map. Pettigrew was a willing servant to Lord V and even cuts off his own hand after they capture Harry during the Triwizard Tournament, a sacrifice for which the Dark Lord eventually rewards him with a brand new silver hand. But it turns out not to be too handy after he's strangled by the silver hand when hesitating to kill our hero. Guess he should never have ratted on the Potters. So she boasts that she's Lord V's most loyal follower, and that she was the only Death Eater that he bothered to save at the Ministry of Magic. You've got it. In at number 3 we have the sadistic monster Bellatrix Lestrange. Madame Lestrange is a devoted Death Eater who clearly enjoys her work. Even the odd stay at Azkaban couldn't stop her. She shows no remorse for her crimes, and actually often bragged about her conquests, like killing Sirius Black. But she didn't stop there. She also did away with Tonks, Dobby and who knows else in service of the Dark Lord. Clearly a fan of the Cruciatus Curse, she tortured Neville's parents and didn't think twice about using the unforgivable spell on Hermione. She even went as far as giving Harry some tips on how to use the spell properly at the Ministry after she'd killed Sirius. But all that anger and hatred could not hold out in the end against the overriding power of Molly Weasley. Now you might have expected this entry to be our number 1, but our number 2 is the master of soul-splitting himself. It's Tom Riddle and Lord Voldemort. He who must not be named struck fear into all members of the wizarding world. Even his snake-like appearance oozed evil. Now Voldemort didn't acquire his flat noseless face from running into the wrong platform wall at King's Cross. It was due to him immersing himself in dark magic. As a child, Tom Riddle scared and disgusted his professors. He opened the Chamber of Secrets with a view to using a basilisk to attack and kill Muggleborns, and he began to work on his goal of becoming immortal. Tom Marvolo Riddle cast aside his Muggle name and appearance to become the despicable Lord Voldemort. From splitting his soul into pieces, creating Horcruxes, to his overuse of the killing curse, Lord V dabbled in every aspect of dark magic he could get his pointy fingers on. We chose him as our number 2 as he would literally stop at nothing to get his own way, although at least he was nice to his pet snake. Good job that his name was not Tom Fart Riddle, as that would have made him uncover himself to the world as I am Lord Farted. Don't be fooled by our number 1 villain. Okay, she may dress in pink, adore cats and utter a quiet ahem now and then, but under that unassuming guise lurks the steeliest, nastiest, scheming villain in the wizarding world. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about Professor Dolores Umbridge, one-time teacher, High Inquisitor, Headmistress and Ministry Insider. Her list of badness knows no bounds, from dismissing Professor Trelawney, trying to get mer-people tagged, drafting anti-werewolf laws, torturing Harry into scratching I must not tell lies when he was speaking up about Lord Voldemort, getting rid of Hagrid, interrogating students, ordering medieval-style punishments, being head of the Inquisitorial Squad, taking the locket from Mundungus. It is endless. She's that wicked, she was even willing to order a Dementor attack on Harry and Dudley in Little Whinging. Umbridge was callous, power-hungry and sadistic. She initially supported the Ministry's belief that Lord V had not returned, but when it was pretty much taken over by the Dark Lord, she got promoted. Unfortunately, all her scheming and manipulating led nowhere, as after a brief holiday with the Centaurs, she finally ended up in Azkaban. So this has been our look at the top 10 Harry Potter villains. Do you agree with our picks, or can you think of characters who are even worse than our villainous top 10? Let us know, and as usual, we'll see you in the next video.